Helping now, new details following a grisly discovery in Hollywood. A 15-year-old girl found dead inside a singer's tent.
After Kanye dropped that chilling line about sacrifices in Hollywood, most people brushed it off as just another wild rant. But now, with the shocking revelations about D4vd and Celeste, those words hit completely different. Celeste's body was discovered in D4vd's Tesla, and according to the coroner, it had been there for a long time before anyone noticed. To many, this doesn't look random at all. It looks like the exact type of sacrifice Kanye warned about, except this time it clearly went wrong. Instead of staying hidden, the truth came out, and now David is at the center of public outrage while Celeste's family and friends demand justice. Even worse, disturbing details about David are starting to surface. He openly admitted to having an obsession with graphic and twisted content, saying he used it to desensitize himself. And here's where it gets even darker. People in the industry already knew about his disturbing behavior, including his fixation on underage girls, yet no one ever spoke up.
Theories about David unaliving Celeste may have been like a ritual, like a sacrificial ritual, which I can see that being a possibility just because when we're talking about like old sacrificial like rituals, they do seek out virgins or seek out young women to sacrifice. That is something that they used to do. Maybe that David, during his gore content and during all the messed up stuff he was looking at, maybe he found content about sacrificial ritual.
So now the question is this: could Kanye's claims about the industry using sacrifices to control artists actually explain why David's situation spiraled the way it did? And why has David not been arrested yet when all signs point to him being the prime suspect? Let's break it all down. To give some background, Celeste Rivas went missing in April 2024 at just 13 years old. And after a year of silence with no leads, most people assumed the case had gone cold. But everything changed on September 8th, 2025, when her body was suddenly discovered inside the trunk of a Tesla registered to David. Because the body had been there for a long time, the condition was badly deteriorated, but the details were still shocking. According to the LAPD, parts of the head and torso were still visible, along with a hand that carried a "shh" tattoo on the right index finger, the exact same tattoo David has. The LA County Medical Examiner confirmed the remains were indeed Celeste's, identified through her dental records, and while the exact cause of pass couldn't be determined, it has officially been ruled a homicide investigation. Now here's where things get disturbing.
Sir, my mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm Christian too.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
Evidence suggests David and Celeste had some kind of connection before her disappearance, which is already alarming given her age. But it doesn't stop there. Screenshots of alleged Discord chats between the two started surfacing online, dating back to 2022 when Celeste was only 11 years old. In one exchange from October 2022, David appears to type "Celeste in here," and a user under her name replies, "Hi, David Fart." Then in another screenshot from March 2024, members of David's own Discord community are seen discussing his interactions with Celeste, proving that at least some of his fans were aware of the inappropriate contact. This isn't just disturbing, it's explosive, and it raises serious questions about how long people have known what was happening and why nothing was done. In August 2024, just 4 months after Celeste was reported missing, another disturbing clue surfaced. A message appeared online where a user told David to drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, which seemed to be referring to a song David had supposedly dedicated to her. Even creepier, screenshots of Celeste's Discord profile confirm she was active from January 2021 up until early 2024, lining up perfectly with the time of her disappearance. And then comes David's music. Right before Celeste vanished, an unreleased track leaked online titled Celeste Demo, where the lyrics describe David's obsession with a girl named Celeste. That alone raised eyebrows, but things got even darker when people started asking, where were her parents during all this? Turns out Celeste's mom admitted she knew her daughter had a boyfriend named David before she disappeared. On top of that, one of Celeste's teachers came forward, telling TMZ that she had even run away to Hollywood in early 2024 to meet up with David. Police managed to track her down and return her home, but clearly that wasn't enough to stop what followed. And now, to make things worse, photos and videos are surfacing of David hanging around big-name artists like Billie Eilish and Katai. So the real question is, how much did these industry insiders really know about David's dark side?
About the music industry, and there's a lot of weird things that go on. These meetings they be having, it's more than just that. They plan things, it's a lot of crap.
We already know from those Discord chats that some of David's fans were aware he was involved with someone underage, yet nobody stepped in or spoke up. And honestly, the silence around this whole situation feels suspicious. Celeste was only 13 when she vanished, and her own mother admitted she knew Celeste was involved with a singer in LA, even running away from home at times to be with him. Now, I'm not here to directly blame the mother, but something about this whole story just doesn't sit right. And fans online are starting to speculate that David may have actually been paying off Celeste's family to keep quiet. One woman from Lake Elsinore, the area where Celeste's family lives, dropped a bombshell in the comments under a post about the case. She claimed Celeste came from a rough neighborhood and that her parents were allegedly accepting $10,000 a week from David to allow the relationship to continue. According to her, the family knew about David and Celeste since she was just 11 years old. Now fans are pointing fingers at the family too, saying they need to be held accountable. One user went off writing, "With the whole David situation, I am indeed parent shaming. Because what? How do you know your daughter's boyfriend's name is David but not realize he's a grown man? And why weren't those connections made? A whole Discord server knew and didn't say anything. 2 + 2 = 5. And the comparisons don't stop there. Some are even likening this case to the R. Kelly scandal, accusing the parents of knowingly letting their daughter run with a grown man just because he had money and fame. Now, speaking of fame, there's another explosive theory floating online. One that ties this situation right back to Kanye's claims about sacrifices in the industry and how celebrities are controlled behind the scenes. Kanye didn't just blurt out, "My mama was sacrificed for shock value." He framed it as part of a disturbing pattern in Hollywood where families, loved ones, and people close to artists are allegedly used to control them through trauma. And when you look at what happened with Celeste, that clip from Kanye suddenly hits on a whole different level. Celeste's body was discovered while David was right in the middle of a world tour, and his fame skyrocketed practically overnight.
A Lake Elsinore community mourning the suspicious death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. While we don't know how she died, the teen's decomposed body was found inside a Tesla at a Hollywood tow lot after someone reported a stench coming from the car, which happens to be registered to popular R&B singer
This isn't just a weird coincidence. Even artist Santi P, who worked closely with David, posted a TikTok saying, "David completely changed after signing his record deal." According to Santi, David used to be openly religious and constantly mentioned God in his music. But once the contract was signed, all of that stopped, and Santi swears this wasn't random. He claims it was written right into the deal as one of the clauses. This lines up eerily with what Kanye has said before, that industry contracts deliberately stop artists from singing or rapping about Jesus, faith, or anything that could free their mind. These alleged sacrifices and restrictions aren't just random acts. They're said to follow a pattern with symbolism, timing, and above all, control. And in David's case, almost every element is there. A rising star on a sudden global tour, a girl tied to him both in life and art, matching tattoos, and even a song literally naming her and talking about obsession. It's the kind of situation that makes people ask if this is just tragedy or something far more sinister. And then there's the discovery of Celeste's body sitting right there in David's Tesla, in plain sight. If he really did harm her, why would he leave her body in a car registered in his own name? That's like leaving your fingerprints at the scene on purpose.
Already signing a contract and selling our souls. They got contracts out there that say you can't say Jesus. When we was working on this album, people used to be coming over the studio just to say Jesus as loud as they wanted to. You can say Jesus in your studio.
And how is it that police still haven't arrested David despite all the evidence tying him to Celeste? Even if he didn't take her life, her body was still found in his car. That alone should trigger charges. On top of that, we already know he was allegedly flying her out to LA when she was just 11 years old. And that by itself is enough for law enforcement to act. Yet somehow nothing is happening. So many things about this case don't add up, and it's beyond bizarre because anyone else in this position would have been arrested by now. Does this mean David has a rock-solid alibi? Or is someone higher up pulling strings to protect him? What's your take on the theory that this was actually a sacrifice tied to David's career? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next story. I'll see you in the next one.